is CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Kinds of interesting situations. You know, like somebody not showing up when they're supposed to. You better talk to Bambi. With Bambi, you get access to your own dedicated U.S.-based HR manager, starting at just $99 per month. They're available by phone, email, and real-time chat, so onboarding and terminations run smoothly. Team members reach peak performance, and your business stays compliant with changing HR regulations. And with Bambi's HR Autopilot, you'll automate important HR practices like setting policies, training, and feedback. HR managers can easily cost $80,000 a year, but Bambi starts at $99 per month. Schedule your free conversation today to see how much Bambi can take off your plate. Visit Bambi.com and type freedom under radio when you sign up. Spelled BAMBEE.com, freedom under radio.
A famous movie house is for sale in New York.
Hiya, pal. The Upper West Side townhouse where Kevin McAllister defeated the Sticky Bandits in Home Alone 2 is on the market for $6.7 million. Pricey? Sure, but it's almost 5,000 square feet, look a lot better than they did when the movie was shot there more than 20 years ago. The listing describes it as a 19th century gem with a marble-trimmed fireplace, high ceilings, walnut floors, and 2 sets of bay windows, plus a private garden, a wine cellar, 4 bedrooms, and 4.5 baths. It does not come with Kevin McAllister's booby traps. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
You popping some bubbly? Those corks are dangerous. Ophthalmology experts at the University of Cambridge are pushing for champagne bottles to have screw caps instead because the cork can catapult at nearly 50 miles per hour. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
This is CBS News.
It's a Hessert holiday at Hessert Chevrolet, and that means it's time to get the best price on a new Chevy this year. Hessert has a huge inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles and will pay top dollar for your trade. Online or in person, shop Philadelphia's most convenient, hassle-free car dealership. Enjoy a Hessert holiday and get to Hessert Chevy today. Online at HessertChevy.com. Chevy, together let's drive.
Your way or no way at Hessert Chevrolet.
See dealer for complete details.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
That's right, it's the other side. Dan Borowski, Anthony Dorenzo sitting in for Dawn Stensland. Thank you so much, Dawn, for letting us do this again. Anthony, how you doing, man? Final shows before Christmas, sir.
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Happy it's finally Christmas. Get to get some fill-in reps, and yeah, no, it's been a fun week.
Well, let me ask you first, how the hell are you still awake? You've been up since 4 a.m. doing this.
Yeah,
Last night you were
man.
sending me things at like 11:30.
Yeah.
Do you sleep? When did you sleep?
I sleep on occasion. I took a small nap like around like 2:30 yesterday, and then I don't know. I didn't get to bed till like around 10 last night.
Ooh.
It's a sprint.
So you didn't get to watch the end of that great game last night, the Thursday Night Football, actually high scoring for once.
I saw some of the Flyers game. I didn't actually. I've been tuning out Thursday night lately just because I'm disgruntled because of fantasy and the Eagles. So.
And it's terrible. The games aren't even quality. But if you're just joining us for the first time, the other side is it means the other side of the glass. Dan Borowski, producer of the Dom Giordano program. Anthony Dorenzo, producer of what seems like everything else. I mean, company from Kale and Company,
yeah,
Dawn
right.
Stensland. And what we do is we just talk about what we want to talk about. There'll be some politics spiced in. There'll be some Christmas chat. And actually, Anthony, I want to lead off with a Christmas question that I want to pose to you. I want to pose to listeners. Maisie and I, we just moved across the bridge to New Jersey. We're in Deptford now. Oftentimes I act mysterious about it, but we're in Deptford, Gloucester County. And we're doing Christmas Eve for the first time, and this is the first time in my life I'm hosting Christmas Eve, and we have absolutely no idea what to make, so I could really use ideas from listeners, 855-839-1210, what to make for Christmas Eve. 7 fishes is the tradition that I expect you to be doing, right?
I've done it. I just think it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. There's a lot of fish. I mean, you're probably going to spend a lot of money, and a lot of that food isn't necessarily going to be eaten. And with fish, you can't, like, really reheat it. You know, it's not, especially fresh fish, you want to eat that, like, immediately. So, I don't, it's kind of
I was thinking of heading over to Captain Chucky's and just grabbing, like, one of everything.
yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I love their crab cakes, and that's to me, crab cakes are perfect for Christmas. I also love getting like fresh raviolis for like an appetizer, like a small pasta dish. And I'll usually some sort of like beef. Like I like short ribs. I think that's a good one. Short rib with like veggies, homemade mashed potatoes. But then obviously, you have vegetarians, pescatarians, stuff like that. But that's pretty simple. You could even slow cook that. Just leave it in either the oven, the crock pot, stuff like that. So
I was thinking about doing roast beef or something similar, dude. What you just told me, though, I hope Maisie's listening because I hope she wrote that down, and that's exactly what we'll do. Crab cakes, I think, might be the solution.
Yeah.
Might be the solution.
Call Captain Chucky's, baby.
A little plug there. Real quick, some producer business. You want to knock out what you need to knock out, or you want to do that later? The live read?
Oh, no. Yeah, we'll get to it later.
All right.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. So Anthony, last show you were talking about some Christmas movies. I want to get to my Elf defense at some point, but I want to lead off talking about John Fetterman. Fetterman's been all over the news recently. It's a longtime progressive that can hardly speak, as we all know, but he's now making some headlines, doing some interviews, and showing a little bit more moderate side of his politics. Anthony, first off, where do you stand? A lot of progressives, you're not progressive, as we know, but a lot of young progressives are now jumping off the Fetterman boat. It's nice to see the guy show a sign of authenticity and a guy that can kind of change his views, but I think there might be something nefarious here. Anthony, first off, what are your thoughts on this situation?
Well, we talked about this with Matt and Mary for a bit, and it's tough. Like, for me, my opinion on it, I'm just shocked that he's even, like, starting to adjust and like, really consider opinions that aren't what he's traditionally held. That gives me, like, a positive feeling about politics and where they're going. But at the same time, Rooney made the point that, I mean, look at the polls and look at what voters think, especially in a state like Pennsylvania. I mean, he's doing kind of what he has to do. Like that, even though Dr. Oz necessarily never had an upper hand over Fetterman, but if Fetterman wants to be known as this common man in Pennsylvania that fights for people, I mean, he kind of does have to take some of these stances, especially, I mean, I am still shocked about blocking that China buy up there for some of the Union land and all those kind of, because we continue to hear that, and we don't ever hear any Democrat usually even admit it, let alone a Republican admit it. So for him to come out, block it, and make statements about it, I mean, I'm going to give you credit when you're due credit. And that to me,
we got to be careful, though. Like, I had the shower thought. Is it possible? Hear me out for a second. I'm quite a theorist here. I don't want to say conspiracy theorist, but I enjoy them. I'm not one that completely believes them. But I had a shower thought. Could this be, with an election coming up, Bob Casey? If Fetterman continues down this progressive path, that kind of labels Bob Casey, the Democrats, in a way that might be irreparable after what we're seeing with the anti-Semitism out there. And progressive politics have gone so far left now that it's crazy. It's asinine, and I think Fetterman realizes that it's a political loss if he continues down that path for his partner there in Senate, Bob Casey.
I've said for a while, I think the progressive policies and agenda are going to blow up in their face, and I think it's starting to happen. Millennials are the ones that were mainly first progressives, quote unquote. And I think they all, for the most part, realized that they were sold a bag of false goods. Like, they really were. We all were. When you at college and all these entitlements and when they get you involved in social programs, I just think people are realizing it's not sustainable to pay off college debt. And it's just all of these things that sound great, utopian ideas. Look at every single time a society has tried them out. It never works. Ever.
Yeah. Yeah, you're completely right. And I think a lot of what happened, what we're seeing now is back in 2012, you had Occupy Wall Street, you had the Tea Party movement on the right, a lot of people pushing back against a overreacting and overarching government. And I think some went so far left, Bernie became popular. People started to really vibe with that, the squad and young people. And it's sickening now to see where young people have gone on college campuses with this anti-Semitism. So it's nice to see kind of the realm move back to the center on the left. And I don't know, though, man. We got to be careful with Fetterman, because if we go too far in, propagating Fetterman and making him appealing to moderate Democrats, I think that really spells negatively for this Bob Casey election that's coming up.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing with Pennsylvania. I feel like there are a lot of people like us that are, for the most part, willing to talk issue by issue, but then when all these Democrats kind of have lockstep decisions in Harrisburg, it's just concerning, because the Republican Party in the state, I don't even know what the identity is. After Mastriano, after Oz, look at the city, especially. There's no identity.
Dude, I was so pissed off the other day. Did you see what Ron McDaniel did?
No, I did not.
All right, so Scott Pressler is a guy that comes on Dom Show a lot with Resistance is his name on Twitter. You see him there often. And the guy has done a great ground game. What he's done is he's come to Pennsylvania. He's knocked on doors. He's gone to the Oaks Gun Show. He's registered a hell of a lot of Republicans, and he swapped Beaver County from blue until red. And Ron McDaniel tweets out, hey, look, great job, Pennsylvania GOP, for swapping a historically blue county to red. Look at Beaver County, not giving any credit to Scott Pressler. And I wonder if Pennsylvania GOP is now getting credit from the national GOP. Are they going to look within themselves and actually change anything? Or are they going to continue being idiots out there in these elections?
I don't like saying this, but from everything we've seen, it seems like, I don't think anything's going to change from this party right now. If they're going to, I know Mastriano doesn't seem like he's moving forward. I don't know enough about McCormick yet. I think we need to keep following that. He does seem like a better direction, but it's really hard for me to hope and to think that the party is going to just totally, rebrand and find a way to pivot.
Just getting started here on the other side, Dan and Dorenzo. I'm Dan Borowski from the Dom Giordano program, Anthony Dorenzo from Dawn Stensland. What we're covering right now. Thank you, Dawn, for the time. I really appreciate it. But 855-839-1210 if you want to get in. And please call us. I could really use your help trying to decide what we're doing for Christmas Eve dinner. And give us some of your favorite Christmas films as well. Going off of what Matt Rooney said, I want to give a defense of Elf as the best Christmas film of all time. We'll be back with the other side, 855-839-1210.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows.
See Hassan Minaj, January 26th and 27th, Kimmel Cultural Campus. Plus, check out Foreigner and Styx, July 28th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Plus, see Chicago and Earth, Wind & Fire, July 31st at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Don't forget, Hassan Minaj, Foreigner and Styx, Chicago and Earth, Wind & Fire. For tickets and info, go to livenation.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. This holiday season, all your wishes are coming true on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. FanDuel has all your favorite bets. You don't have to be a football expert. Same game parlays, bigger payout, and I really like that FanDuel app. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, no better time than now. The app is so easy to use, wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over and unders. All that you have to do is this. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Lose weight and feel great with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into the radio show Sunday at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Odyssey's I'm Listening is our commitment to more mental health conversations. Adele talks about what she does to keep her anxiety under control.
I work out to really hone all my energy and to make sure that it's not coming out sideways. If I'm ever in a situation where I don't want to do something, then I just won't do it anymore because the repercussions of that will be my anxiety.
Talk saves lives. For more mental health conversations, visit imlistening.org.
Sponsored by the 988 Lifeline and the Philadelphia Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services.
Too many people are experiencing suicidal crisis or mental health-related distress without support. But there is hope. The 988 Lifeline helps people who are struggling to overcome mental health-related issues. It's okay to not be okay. The Philadelphia Department of Behavioral Health and Intellectual Disability Services is here for you. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, call 988 for support. Trained crisis counselors are standing by. That's 988.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This Christmas morning, unwrap your holiday favorites commercial-free on B101 from Mariah to Bing. We've got you covered. Listen to B101 commercial-free starting at noon Christmas Eve all through Christmas Day. Want to fill your home with holiday cheer? Ask your smart speaker to play B101 Philly. Enjoy on the radio, on your smart speaker, and on the free Odyssey app.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
Welcome back into the other side live, covering for the Dawn Stensland Show. Dan Borowski here with Anthony Dorenzo. Anthony, my man, how you doing, sir?
I am as good as I could be. Merry Christmas.
As good as you could be. I mean, working as much as you are, man, it's got to be tough. So
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
It's fun, though. It's fun.
I look
like
at you and I think, I don't know if I could do as much as you do. So. Well, thank you for that. Hey, brother, so let's get into some presidential politics. I was listening to you and Maz coming in yesterday, and there was some quite tough defense there you had for RFK against some others that seemed in favor a little bit of Nikki Haley, which was surprising to hear. Yeah, now.
Why does anyone like that one?
I know. I don't get it, man. Like, I'm looking at it right now. Like, it's very traditional conservative neocon politics. It seems like she's trying to preach to a choir that's not really looking to listen anymore.
Yep. Well, I'm anti-establishment, but this is exactly why I'm anti-establishment, because I believe people and the powers that be on both sides of government continue to push things like Ukraine, like Israel. And I'm not saying we shouldn't go after terrible terrorist organizations, but this just incessant need to give all our money to these other countries and the military-industrial complex, like I just don't understand. We can't just keep accepting it because we've always done it.
Yeah.
And that's what frustrates me.
Yeah, and you think Nikki's kind of in the camp of continued wars nonstop?
Yes.
I think it's pretty clear.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, we played a clip earlier with Nikki Haley, and she essentially was saying Hamas attacked on Putin's birthday. Is that a coincidence? Keep that in mind. So, and she ends it like essentially alluding to saying we have to continually fund both wars.
It's warmongering.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I'm sick of it. But where do you stand on Trump's America First policy? Like, a lot of conservatives are so anti-Ukraine anything because they just don't want America to be the world's police anymore.
Yeah.
Dom is very much in that camp, except for with Israel. I mean, with Israel, you got to protect your Western values, especially in the Middle East. And I think everyone seems to recognize it. But conservatives still stand, somewhat against Ukraine, especially this nonstop faucet of funding. Where do you stand on it?
I mean, it actually came out on the New York Times that they're looking into getting aid from Europe now because U.S. is pausing Ukraine aid, at least going into this new year directly as of now. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I support Ukraine more than I support Russia. I'm not going to lie about that. But at the same time, how much? Look at our cities. Look at our streets. Look at our neighborhoods. Look at the economy. I mean, it's just concerning, man, that like people in our own country are constantly overlooked. And I don't think everyone should just get handouts. But why does the government even exist if it's not going to be there for the American people?
Well, that's the thing that really troubles me with this whole back and forth in Congress and Senate right now over the funding, because we're talking about protecting American citizens by funding the border, and what they want is just a nonstop faucet of Ukraine funding. And I definitely think it's incredibly important to protect, Western values and such, and remain the superpower of the world. But you got to have some kind of limit as to how much money you're willing to give, especially when there's questions whether or not there's corruption involving one Joe Biden and others.
Well, and I know this is a hard question to answer, but are these conflicts as impactful and important when it comes to freedom as it was back in, World War I, World War II era, when Hitler came about and Japan came after the U.S.? Is this as critical to step in?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, if you're a left leaner and you think Russia's the end of the world, the number one threat to the United States, then sure, I can see it for him.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's China, right?
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, as much as I am an American and I care about our country first, I guess, but I care about everyone. And the thing is, like, if you're going to fight for freedom, that fight will never end. We're fighting for that in our own country, and you have to fight for it internationally as well, because there will always be people fighting against it and fighting for tyranny and fighting for socialism. And that, I think, and I know I've brought this up before. I've been watching the Kennedy documentary, and John F. Kennedy, the things he did as a young person and traveling abroad. He joined the Navy when World War II was starting. He was on a boat. This was the episode I watched yesterday. He was on a little tanker boat as the Japan tankers were kind of going right by him. He was idling with one engine. One of the giant Japanese ships rammed right through his little float. I forget exactly, like Bowie, kind of small, tiny little ship. And one of the shipmates was drowning. JFK went down there, saved him.
Wow.
Saved him, got him to shore. I mean, what president? Like, that guy, it's crazy the amount of courage, the amount of American pride. And he understood, like, you're not just fighting for freedom in our own country. You need to fight for freedom nationwide and make sure that everyone knows this and fight for that. Fight for your neighbor, fight for your family, fight for your cousin. And you don't see leaders like that anymore. And I think that's why I'm questioning, is this as impactful as those old wars? Is this as important?
I'm going to push back, though. I really think there's an axis of evil developing here.
Yeah.
A new axis: China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. Let's say those four. And where is the line drawn between, putting ourselves out there to protect our status as that world leader against these four who their ultimate goal is to have full power and control over the entire world, is it not?
You're right. And that's the concern, because they have the ability, China especially. I know we were talking about this earlier. The New York Post is reporting that Biden has been told by Xi that he's willing to, quote, take Taiwan by any means necessary. So I think that, to your point, that very much makes me think the axis of evil thing, and with Ukraine trying to be taken on top of now Taiwan, on top of the Middle East, this could be a huge issue.
Which brings me back to presidential politics, because this coming election, I think, we say this every time around, but it's the most important election of a lifetime.
The election of a generation.
But it really, I got to say, it really is. Yeah. Because we have an economy with inflation that's spiraling out of control. We're on our way to becoming the next, like Venezuela, if we continue out with these socialist policies. So it's important to, not have a socialist in office like we do right now. But it's also important to remain that world superpower. And we need someone strong in office to do that. And that brings me back to Nikki Haley. I do think Nikki Haley would be good for that purpose, but she's a little too far in that direction.
Speaking of Nikki, Secret Squirrel says in the chat, love Nikki Haley. She's a role model for women's fitness. Oh, my God.
And a PT boat, patrol torpedo boat, is what Kennedy was on. But Chris Christie, man, I don't know what the hell he's doing in this race.
Sloppy Chris Christie.
Chris Christie. Yeah, he's, as a person, I got to say, being from Jersey, I really like the guy, but as a politician, I think he has no business where he is right now.
It's just funny because I remember having him on when I first started working here, and my uncle's actually been in circles around him before, so I've heard a lot about him, and it's just the way he acts publicly just makes me laugh.
Yeah, I remember covering, what was it? I guess funding CRDA, Casino Reinvestment Development Authority in Atlantic City, and there's a highly respected journalist, Tom Lemaine, who long time did sports weather here in Philadelphia, who's now retired at the Shore, and he grew up in Atlantic City, went to Philadelphia for a little while, worked there, and then came back. And he stood up to ask a question at a press conference. And I vividly remember Chris Christie saying, "Sit down, you're not from Atlantic City, I don't want your question, we're taking Atlantic City Reporter questions only," because he recognized Tom Lemaine as a guy from Philadelphia. And all the reporters kind of just gasped. And it's like, how does a politician treat a media member like that? But this was before, Trump traded the national media similarly. But Chris Christie, Tim Dillon, a comedian that often goes on with Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan were talking about it. You have the clip, Anthony?
Yes, I have it ready. This is cut 16 there. It was Tim Dillon. We were talking about Nikki Haley and the state of the GOP race. He kind of breaks down the hypocrisy and just the entire thing in general. This cut 16, Dan, go.
On the table, that's their favorite word. Their favorite sense is we're leaving all options on the table. It's about our values, says Nikki Haley. It's about our values. In northern Ukraine, she wants the money. I don't know what Chris Christie's up there talking about. Ozempic or whatever, but he's not getting $1. No one's giving him anything.
He's a weird one.
He's just there to ruin things. Here's what I appreciate about Chris Christie. He exists only to destroy. He's not trying to build. He cannot win. He's not going to be elected. He's there to kill that Vivek Ramaswamy. He's going to kill him. He's there to just destroy other people. He's not there to succeed, and he knows it.
Sloppy Chris Christie.
Yeah, I got to ask, is that what you think he's here for? Just to demolish, kill?
I mean, I think that's a lot of politicians. Oh, give me your money and I'll go out there and do your bidding.
Tim Dillon's saying it's about Vivek, though. I think he's completely off base there.
Yeah.
Because I think Vivek is a gnat at this point. I think he's flying around annoying that people have to swat away, but nobody takes him seriously. He's the Andrew Yang from a couple of years ago who young people like and hope that they have a shot.
I think he has more momentum than Yang did. I'm not saying he's going to win.
Dude, Yang had remember universal basic income and how much people really love that because of Yang? And
I guess maybe Vivek just has a better chance because he's in a dysfunctional Republican Party with less structure than the Democrats. But my thing with Vivek is he so taps into that online, not even right-wing, but anti-establishment base. And I'm not the biggest Vivek supporter. I do appreciate a lot of what he does, but I do agree with you. Sometimes he rubs me the wrong way. I just think he really has such a following with that internet base on Twitter, on people like on Truth even.
But they don't vote.
Well, but then the Trump people, I guess they're still going to vote for Trump, but depending on what happens with the whole Colorado ruling and all of Trump's trials, I mean, he could be in a good. I don't think he can win, but I'm just saying he could be in a good spot with anti-establishment people as well as Trump voters.
Yeah, and back to Christie. I think Christie's just a straight up bully.
I think he has no chance. But I guess with New Hampshire maybe, but I doubt it.
I think he really wanted to be attorney general.
Yeah.
And when Trump was elected, he renounced himself to support Trump in the election, hoping that he'd get a nice cush cabinet position, maybe as attorney general. And then Trump says, hey, why don't you go over to Italy and be my ambassador of Italy? And Christie was offended by it. And I think since then, his primary goal going on ABC Everything has been, to get back at Trump somehow. And
they had their whole COVID falling out too. Then pretty sure Trump blamed Chris Christie on giving him COVID early on when all this was
that's
still
right.
going on.
Yeah, he was in the White House.
And they all went. They're like that ex-couple, from high school that you'll like see in your hometown during Christmas that like, even though they've been broken up for years, the first thing you hear out of their mouths is they talk about each other.
Or it's like the friend that is allegedly over the ex-girlfriend, but every time you talk to them, it somehow comes back to the ex-girlfriend.
It's like, dude, I'm just seeing how you're doing.
Yeah, it's an obsession. It's an obsession. You're listening to The Other Side with Dan and Dorenzo, covering for Dawn Sensland today. Please dial us. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about as well. 855-839-1210. After the break, we'll get into the establishment a little bit. I'm curious to hear who Anthony thinks is the anti-establishment candidate at this point.
You probably know.
Yeah. And let's get into some Christmas, maybe some autonomous vehicles as well. The Other Side with Dan and Dorenzo. Be back right after this break.
This is Larry Steinhess of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Everyone on your list is going to be happy this year if you take my advice and do what I do and let Omaha Steaks bring the happiness and take the guesswork out of gifting. Shop their carefully curated gift packages guaranteed to make spirits bright all winter long. Just go to omahasteaks.com. Save 50% off site-wide. Plus, when you use promo code Zioli at checkout, you get an additional $30 off your order. That's right. Send tender, juicy, butcher's cut filet mignons, mouth-watering burgers, gourmet jumbo franks, or even easy-to-prepare meals that are ready in a flash. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. The happiness is endless. But this offer won't last long. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship your order right away, so avoid the holiday rush and do it today. OmahaSteaks.com. Use promo code Zioli at checkout. Minimum order may be required. This is a gift from the heart, a gift that will be remembered with every unforgettable bite. I do this every year, and everyone always says thank you, and they never return it. OmahaSteaks.com, promo code Zioli.
Hey, it's Joe DeCamera. While treating yourself this holiday season, why not treat your car as well by scheduling an appointment for your car at United Tire? From new tires to oil changes to state inspections and everything in between, the highly skilled technicians at United Tire are happy to work around your schedule to do whatever your car needs, no matter the make or model. So get your new year in gear and treat your car to some special guests from your locally owned United Tire. You can also visit UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have started a huge renovation. Take our already incredibly generous offers and add an additional $1,000 off all new Volvos, plus owner loyalty, plus up to $2,000 when financing or leasing with Volvo cars, plus $7,500 lease rebate on all plug-in Volvos. This is a fabulous time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo. This month's offers are incredible, and we must make space for all the construction vehicles. Visit us now.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
We are going to enter next year with the smallest military in over 80 years as active duty troop numbers sink to less than 1.3 million. And the Pentagon is now coming out and issuing a national call of service to Gen Z.
Does anybody get the feeling that maybe if this continues to go in the wrong direction, we're going to have a draft?
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. Calling on North Wales to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it
now. Mamacita, do you know of Mayor Jim Kenney? Do you know if he spent any days at City Hall this week? Mamacita, it's a job you don't want no more. He's probably down in Baltimore. At his friend's restaurant he will feed.
I love this man.
The city he has made sanctuary. Woohoo! He says that he likes it that way.
Yeah!
The streets, they are now all very scary and getting worse almost every day.
Go away, Mayor. We don't want you anymore.
It really means a lot if you do not get shot or carjacked every day. Blame Outlaw, blame Krasner, the city's a disaster. It's okay, Jimmy K. Mamacita. Do you know of Mayor Jim Kenney?
Oh, what a legend. Earl Anticoni, the official 2023 Dom Giordano Show Caller of the Year you hear there, has an entire album anywhere that a Dom Show podcast can be found. The Dom Show presents Earl Anticoni's A Krasnerland Christmas. So over the weekend, do yourself a favor. Listen to that entire album, Anthony. It's fantastic. Some cuts about Biden on there, and as you just heard, some about Kenney.
That's good. Yeah, that was good.
Mr. Establishment of Philadelphia himself. But let's go to Kenney real quick. There was a clip that we have of Jim Kenney, who provided an interview to NBC 10, and he has some comments about, remember when he was asked about the World Cup coming up, and he was out there.
Was this right after the South Street shooting?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was asked about the big events and what he has to do, and Mayor Kenney essentially says, I don't really want to be mayor anymore.
Yeah, I lost my mind over this when I was in Connecticut, I remember.
Yeah, so he was asked about, he talked about a little bit, NBC 10 exit interview. Take a listen.
We also talked about the gun violence that has plagued the city and a moment when emotions bubbled to the surface after shots were fired, injuring police officers on July 4th. And Kenney said he was looking forward to not being mayor. He jumped in today before I could finish my question.
That one expression of emotion, frustration, and anger should not be identifiable with the entire 8 years of this administration.
I think it's pretty significant.
What do you mean? Shouldn't it be identifiable?
Yeah.
And then he goes on later to say, he's like, oh, and yeah, if anyone else had that job, they'd understand that it's frustrating, it's tough. Shut up, dude. Go manage a retail store. Shut up. Shut your damn mouth. Seriously, it's crazy to me that you're going to tell me that's a hard job. Everyone has a hard job. And actually, you picked one of the hardest jobs. So this is your own fault. Nobody forced you to be mayor.
Well, that's the question. Did someone force him to be mayor?
God.
Is he just a stooge that was, recruited to do this job? And once he got there, I don't know if you watched The Wire, but Tommy Cherelle, whatever the guy's name is, he gets the mayor and he's all excited to do it. And then the outgoing mayor says, prepared to be shoveled piles of crap over and over again, bowls of poop. And it's just nonstop. He has a bowl after bowl of just stuff he has to deal with. You know, it's exciting to think that you can be mayor, but sometimes you just don't have the gumption, and I think that's what happened with this guy. He doesn't have the backbone to be a mayor, and he got in there and
I think it's what happens to a lot of these local politicians. They do care, they do have good intentions, then they get into these
Do you think he had good intentions?
I think most people that get into politics have good intentions, but then once they start rubbing elbows with these swamp creatures and these psychos that run all this stuff, this is what happens.
Sanctuary City.
Yep, having cocktail parties. Who knows? There's this big story in the Inquirer yesterday. Oh, the legacy of Mayor Kenney as he, historic soda tax. That is, because we have the greatest schools in the country.
They prop it up as a positive, the historic soda tax?
Yeah, historic. It's his historic achievement. Which, it go to any of the schools in Philadelphia right now. Yeah, the soda tax didn't help a ton. Yeah, okay, did it help some of the schools? Sure, I'll give you that.
Headline, plan to rebuild rec centers and libraries was a legacy-making project beset by delays.
Yeah, oh, God. Oh, government and delays? What a shock.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, Kenney's novel initiative was undoubtedly being one of the mayor's most enduring legacies, but rebuild is far from meeting its original goals. Far is to say the least. Cherelle Parker coming in, though, I have a lot of hope for her. You shake your head kind of hesitantly, though.
No, I'm excited. I think I'm skeptical of Philadelphia government in general. So I'm just someone who has to always have hope and be optimistic. So I am optimistic, and I am actually very much optimistic that the Democrats in this city chose the candidate who is tough on crime.
Yeah.
So that really does give me hope. And, I mean, there's a lot of drama around Larry Krasner, and even like we played in our last episode, Krasner kind of arguing about things that Parker has said and alluding to the DA's office being incompetent. So, I mean, I hope she continues to push back, and I hope eventually she speaks up and just calls him out, because that's what we need.
Yeah, and she did. I mean, in her initial speech, she says $500 or less, it's not going to happen in Philadelphia anymore. That's a direct shot at Krasner's initial memo that he says, he never said.
He didn't say it. He had some staffer write it. So,
big trials. It's nuts, man. He continued denies what he's done to this city. But no, Cherelle, great things doing. And she just announced a couple of her staffers, and one really stands out to me. This guy named Aaron Platt is now a deputy mayor. And a name that many people haven't heard of, but one that me and Dom are both very familiar with because during her campaign, he was very instrumental in bringing her onto the Dom Giordano program. And now you have a deputy mayor in there. And I say that really carefully because you had a person running to be a Democrat mayor of Philadelphia that would often come on the Dom Giordano program because Dom's known for being a very fair interviewer. But if a person's running for a campaign, usually they'd say, oh, hell no, I don't have any desire to be on a conservative radio station. But Aaron really, we spoke, and he thought there was a true need for conservatives to hear what Cherelle had to say because he really thought they'd like what she had to say.
I agree, and that's important. We need more people to just have these conversations. Like, we're neighbors, we're friends. At the end of the day, we have to talk to one another. And the fact that first of all, we have a current DA who, I'm sure he's heard us complain about him, and he doesn't ever feel like he'll be willing to reach out or give us his perspective. No. Even if he disagrees, give us your opinion. Like, it's not that hard. Just talk to us. Treat us like lepers. But it's ridiculous. But Mayor Kenney also, he's never coming on here. So the fact that we have a mayor...
I have a challenge, man. I want to get him once he's out of office. I got to bring him on with Dom. It would be fantastic, would it not?
That would be good.
Have him in studio.
The tell-all with Mayor
just
Kenney.
Expose of the Philadelphia local government.
Is he going to turn into like George Santos?
Look, I really think there's still a bone in Kenney's body that he's a South Philly guy that sees the BS that he's had to deal with, and maybe you want to talk about it. Maybe he can use it to pass the blame and protect his reputation.
I don't know if he likes Dom.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah. One person that's never come on is Krasner, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that
but one person that did come on and often comes on yesterday, go check out the podcast if you've ever heard it, Sharif Street, Senator Sharif Street.
Oh, nice.
He came on to defend the letter that he wrote pushing back against the bipartisan bill Act 140, Senate Bill 140, that passed in Harrisburg that rewrites the jurisdictions that Larry Krasner's allowed to prosecute. Now within allegedly 500 feet or yards of a public transport station, there'll be a special prosecutor that comes in. And we had the author of the bill come on a couple days ago who told us that it's essentially a safety net. That Krasner, if he chooses not to prosecute, then this person can come in, put on the big boy pants, and actually do the job that Larry Krasner is supposed to be doing. Sharif Street came on and told us it's actually the opposite. It's supplanting Krasner's jurisdiction, and he has a problem with that because Krasner was duly elected and all this.
Yeah, I remember Dom actually went on News Nation with was that Dan Abrams?
Dan Abrams,
he was with, and Dom had that same exact argument. I remember that verbatim because Dom was saying if you're not going to do your job, you deserve to be fired.
Yeah.
And he was claiming, well, if the voters voted for him, then you can't fire him.
Well, you can't fire him, but what you can do is protect yourselves.
Yeah.
Right? And I fully support a bill that if Krasner chooses not to prosecute, there should be a safety in there that that person's not just let free. There's someone that comes in. I remember Bill McSwain when he was the U.S. prosecutor. He had a press conference and said he has to, play in the adult rooms. Let the kids play, and once he's got to fix their mistakes as a U.S. attorney, as the national federal guy. So if we can have some kind of protection here to prosecute when Larry fails to prosecute, I think it's only a net benefit for Philadelphians.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm not necessarily against, bringing in National Guard and things like that either. And people act like that's nuts, but, I mean, I think people would act a lot differently if there was National Guard here for a bit. And the thing is, it's just as much as we want to support the police, and we do support the police, they can only do so much. So figuring out that, and especially on top of dealing with the DA, how do you move forward with safety? Especially, Cherelle's hands are tied to a point, so I think, like you said, her initial shot at Krasner with that opening statement, she's probably going to have to keep doing that and pushing that needle. If she wants to make change, she's going to have to take the gloves off.
And the guy's so relentless. I don't think he's going to, give any kind of olive branch. So it's going to get messy.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there. And I just have hope in Cherelle because the lone and sole fact that she comes on 1210 WPHT with us, that gives me some hope that she'll even consider talking to us, which shouldn't be a big deal, but I guess it is.
And it's nice to know that she often says at the end of her interviews that there are people saying, don't go on Dom, there's no reason to go on Dom.
Yeah.
But the person that was telling her you should go on Dom is so close to her now. He's actually going to be the deputy mayor here in Philadelphia.
Wow. Awesome.
That's Aaron Platt guy.
Awesome.
So congrats to Aaron. That's friggin' awesome. Yeah, let's go to Frank, Northeast Philly. Frank, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Dan. This just came in. Breaking news. There's a new DA in town. Have you heard about it?
No, who is it?
It stands for the Dan and Anthony Show. That's used to it, okay? I heard you both on Thanksgiving. You did a great job, and today, equally awesome. Greg Stocker, if you're listening, you got a lot of talent here. Make room for the Dan and Anthony Show. A new DA's in town, the Dan and Anthony Show.
Thank you, Frank. I can't do both, though. I might just have to go leave for the world of criminal justice,
The name of your show would be called the DA Show, the Dan and Anthony program.
That's true.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Otherside, get out. Maybe the DA
real
show.
Philadelphia DAs.
Yeah. Oh.
And if you can moonlight as the other DA, the district attorney, that'd be great too. Anyway, listen, you guys are doing great. You are talented, and I wish you the best. And I hope Greg Stocker does make room for you somewhere in the program. And Anthony, it was the PT 109 Kennedy was on.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not his back for the rest of his life. He was a lot of pain.
Yeah, his back was already messed up. So yeah, if you haven't watched that documentary, check it out. It's called Kennedy on HBO. But thank you, Frank. We appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Before we let you go, the new DA show, the Dan and Anthony program.
Frank, before we let you go, I want to give it back to you too, brother. You're a great caller. You've been a supporter of both Anthony and I for a long time, a supporter of this entire station, and a fantastic caller. So Merry Christmas, brother, and enjoy the family, and hope everything goes well, sir. Thanks for the call.
Dan, when did you leave Port Richmond?
I left Port Richmond, what was it? Do you remember? November?
Was that November? Yeah,
I think
November.
So. I thought you moved there. I mean, did you grow up there, or did you move there?
No, I grew up in Cherry Hill. Then I moved out to Indiana for college. Moved back to Atlantic City. Market was doing radio in Atlantic City. And then when I got the job here at WPHT, I moved to Port Richmond. So I was there for about 5 years, and then moved back over the bridge and now own a house out there in Deptford.
Big shot.
Yeah.
You have a good chiropractor. The lady on Frankfurt Avenue. Anyway, have a good one, guys.
Well, I miss it up there, man.
Again.
It was an awesome experience living up there. Just the vibe of the neighborhood, and I loved it, man. So thanks, Frank. Thanks, Vin. We got to go to break, Anthony. The Other Side with Dan and Lorenzo. Maybe the DA show from now on.
I like that.
I really do like that. We'll be back after the break, 855-839-1210. Please feel free to give us a ring and chime in.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding, how much I love my new patio doors. You know by now. If I needed windows, doors, or siding, I'd only trust the Chapman team. If you're thinking of updating your current siding or removing your current stucco and replacing it with siding, think Chapman. With the new updated siding choices available, the curb appeal of your home will pop. If you currently have stucco, updating it with James Hardy plank or vinyl siding will truly add value to your home. If you're looking to sell, you can bet buyers will value updated new siding. And right now would be a good time to get ahead of the ball and plan your siding project for 2024. The certified Chapman installers are the folks you want on the job. If you or someone you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, stucco remediation, shutters, or hardware, give them a call or text them 610-431-8898, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Chapman, the name I trust. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company this holiday season, and hopefully it's a relaxing one. All your wishes are coming true on FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. I love the FanDuel app. It's so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and so much more. All you have to do is use my promo code Greg. FanDuel.com/Greg. FanDuel.com/Greg. Sign up right now. FanDuel.com/Greg. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, and he's the official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in PA. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame moneyline wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is not withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms of sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Consumer Cellular offers unlimited talk and text on every plan starting at $20 per month. Stay connected in rain, sleet, and snow with their premium nationwide 5G coverage with no contract and free activation. Visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. The winter months are rolling in, and I'm excited to talk with you, though, about Rescue's natural supplements Deck the Hall sale. We're talking up to a whopping 78% off on all products, including essential omega-3s, cholesterol support, natural pain relief, and much more. And get this, the savings last the entire month. And did I mention that Rescue is offering 15 special health-boosting products at under $20? To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. You'll speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. You can fortify your immune system, boost energy levels, support overall well-being with Rescue's selection of over 50 high-quality natural supplements. There's no code needed to save up to 78% site-wide. So stay healthy this holiday season by shopping res-q.com today.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
This segment of The Other Side with Dan and Lorenzo, sitting in for Dawn Stensland, brought to you by Piazza Auto Group. It's the most wonderful time of year to get a new Volkswagen during the Sign and Drive event. Visit Piazza Volkswagen of Ardmore and Langhorne for 0 down lease offers. Shop online at piazzavw.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Oh, here we go.
My guy.
It's Christmas time. Yeah, you look under the tree. You getting cold this year? You been a good boy?
Oh, it's Uncle Christmas. Oh, yeah, Bruce Springsteen, yeah. Let's have a nice Christmas.
I don't know how people like him, man. I to each his own, but
yeah.
I can't do it.
Oh, yeah, let's squeeze this one out and go celebrate some Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. I'm canceling our show that you bought You bought 2 tickets for $8,000. I'm sorry, we gotta cancel the show.
Oh, yeah, gotta cancel it. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you guys go work on the farm. I'll go pay some people to do it for me.
Oh my God, man.
Sorry if you like Bruce Springsteen,
Yeah,
but if you can't tell, we're not huge fans of the guy. Yeah. This song's not too bad though. Like some of his stuff's not bad. It's just
this isn't as bad as the "You Better Watch Out, You Better Not Cry," whatever. That's Santa Claus Coming to Town.
You better watch out. Yeah.
I like the original, but Bruce just is too much with it.
Yeah. My voice hurts. I don't know if I can do another hour now after that.
Well, you're a Jersey guy, aren't you? You have to love him.
Somehow I squeeze out 4 hours a night of a concert. Yeah, now I'm in Jersey. I'm supposed to like the guy, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, not going to happen. I have a gripe not only with Bruce Springsteen, but with the host prior to us, Matt Rooney, who trashed Elf, the film, which I consider to be the best Christmas film of all time, bar none. Yeah.
I agree with you. It hits all of those marks, but I understand. I guess this is the same way when we debate Christmas songs. People tell me they hate Last Christmas by Wham, which to me is just like a travesty. I think that song's a masterpiece.
Why? It sucks.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's so good.
Oh, no.
The chorus is perfect.
Oh, no.
But regardless, we could debate
it's really
the song, the
too.
structure, all that. But my point is, I think people don't like Elf because it's just so overplayed and so overdone. Like every year, you're going to see the Buddy the Elf toy at Target.
All right, but It's a Wonderful Life is on all the damn time. And
that's
it's still
true. And the
best.
same with Christmas Vacation, and even the Christmas Story movie as well. But I just think Elf is probably the most prominent for younger people. So you're right, and that's why people get sick of it. It's like a number one hit.
It's not just for younger people though. Like I get the argument
yeah.
that Rooney has that there's some nostalgia that plays into it. Like Santa Claus is the same for me. I'm kind of in between the generations between you and Rooney.
Yeah.
So I get a little bit of the Santa Claus and Elf. By the time I was old enough where I was like, this is kind of corny, but I thought it was silly. I like the character of Elf, but as I've grown older, I like the father more, and I see that the father is a very, there's a lot of layers to the character, and I really think that's what makes Elf great. There's so many different storylines that go into the film. You have the romance between him and Zooey Deschanel. You have the comedy of Buddy the Elf trying to become a human. You have the father-son relationship between the father.
That's the best one.
And then you have not only that, but you have the father-son relationship between the father and Elf's brother.
Yeah.
Buddy the Elf's brother that just doesn't see his father much because of the amount of work. And by the end, the father comes around and realizes that he has to spend time with the family. And it's just a really well-done movie that touches a lot of different genres that I don't think a lot of Christmas films do.
Well, and they were also kind of talking down on the Jim Carrey Grinch, and I will not accept that. I think I might like that more than Elf, and just that story, man, like you're saying, to appeal to adults. When I watch that Jim Carrey Grinch, the things he says and his like dark humor that he slips in there, like when they're inviting him to go down to Whoville and say he's the Who of the year, and we're gonna make you wear the Christmas sweater. And he's like, I can't do that. 4 p.m., have to load in South Philly. 5 p.m., dinner with myself. I can't cancel that again. Like, it is such a movie, even though it's a kid's movie, I feel like it is so catered to adults, and like those negative thoughts that you have going through the motions of life, like he personifies it perfectly. And then by the end, I mean, don't be the Grinch. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
It really, when you don't make it like, corny Christmas music, it really does relate to life.
And I just love the cinematography of Tim Burton and the weird angles, and it's just I really like it too. I think that's another good one.
Jim Carrey's my guy. I love him though.
One movie that I highly suggest everybody just completely ignore because it was trash was Candy Cane Lane with Eddie Murphy. You haven't seen that one yet?
I have seen it. It's not good.
Oh, you did watch it?
I mean, I put it on for a little bit. I couldn't.
Yeah, it's like cringeworthy. It's not like.
Can he stop making movies?
Yeah.
And what was the last good one? Dr. Dolittle? I don't even know. That might be giving him something.
Is Dr. Dolittle a good movie?
I mean, I just, that's one as a kid I thought was okay, but I don't even know. He does, was he in those what was that? The Adam Sandler movies? It wasn't Home Alone, but you know what
Grown Ups?
Yeah, Grown Ups.
No, I don't think he was in Grown Ups, was he?
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah. I can't think of it.
I'm just trying to, maybe he hasn't been making I know he was in that movie with Jonah Hill on Netflix. God, what was that called? But he was like dating a black girl, and Eddie Murphy was the father. That's what I mean. Yeah, it's like Brett Favre.
Yeah, you just go too long.
I mean, he should do some stand-up sets again. If anything, that's what I'd love to see from him. Go to comedy's in such a resurgence. Get to some clubs, man. Talk to these younger comedians. That'd be great.
All right. So when I was reading about Candy Cane Lane, a lot of people watched it expecting a upswing on Eddie's career because I haven't seen it, but allegedly Dolomite is my name. Came out a couple years ago, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Eddie Murphy was allegedly starting a career renaissance with this film. Candy Cane Lane, it's the 12 Days of Christmas personified. It's almost like one of those A24 films where they take a fictionalized thing and, make it creepy. And I feel like the showrunners wanted it to be that initially, and then Eddie Murphy came in and it turned into some kind of family film.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they didn't really know what they were trying to do, and the jokes completely whiffed over and over again. So do not watch Candy Cane Lane no matter how much you see it advertised during NFL games. I was hoodwinked into believing it might be a decent movie. It is not. But, Anthony, we got to get rolling here on the top of the hour. You're listening to The Other Side with Dan and Dorenzo, covering for Dawn Stenzel. We'll be back after the break, 855-839-1210. To join us, please do.
Small, keep up. We have to deliver these gifts for the holidays.
Canella, I'm trying. It's hard to walk through the snow in heels. Did you bring everything?
Yes.
Do you have the jingle bells?
I got them right here. We also have gifts for the family, and here are the ones for your grandchildren.
Oh, hush. People are going to love the crash-proof recipes that we cooked up at Crash Proof Retirement.
Is that stocking full of coal for Wall Street?
It sure is. What a great year for helping the American retiree crash-proof their nest egg from those Scrooges.
Calm down, Small. It's the holidays, and we hope everyone is enjoying the loving company of their family and friends.
Canella, I think we're almost there. What's the address?
I thought you had it.
What was the last thing I told you before we left?
You said, "Wow, Canella, you sure look great in that big red suit."
Canella.
Look, Small, we're here.
Happy holidays!
Happy holidays from all of us at Crash Proof Retirement.
Staying healthy and independent means staying up to date on immunizations for COVID, flu, RSV, and more. Get help finding appointments, getting to appointments, or connecting to a variety of other community services that allow you to live your best life through PA Link. PA Link is Pennsylvania's one-stop shop for seniors and adults living with disabilities. Call the PA Link helpline at 800-753-8827.
Supported by a grant from the Administration for Community Living, paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have started a huge renovation. Take our already incredibly generous offers and add an additional $1,000 off all new Volvos, plus owner loyalty, plus up to $2,000 when financing or leasing with Volvo cars, plus $7,500 lease rebate on all plug-in Volvos. This is a fabulous time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo. This month's offers are incredible, and we must make space for all the construction vehicles. Visit us now.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin with falling prices and higher spending.
Today I'm shopping for my brothers and sisters right now for Christmas.
I still got to do some more last-minute shopping.
Aditya Bave, senior U.S. economist at Bank of America Securities.
Folks are spending a lot on durable goods. That's because supply chain issues have resolved, more stuff is available, and prices have also moderated to a certain degree. So cars obviously are a big part of that, but also furniture, laptops.
The Commerce Department says prices were down 0.1% in November, for the largest drop since 2020, when the economy was reeling from the pandemic. Personal income rose 0.4%. All signs Fed's plan to tame inflation is working. Time to scramble to get to Christmas.
AAA predicts some 104 million Americans will travel by road for Christmas. Drivers will enjoy sharply lower gas prices than a year ago. John Torres is getting a break on Phillips of his large tank pickup truck.
This is 35 gallons, so imagine it goes from $100 a fill up to $80 a fill up.
Beth Jones has lots of company on the road.
Working out the gas is great. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people out there.
The national average for a gallon of unleaded gas is $3.09. Jim Krasula, CBS News, along Interstate 40 in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Troubling news from the Middle East. A group representing hostage families says an Israeli-American captive has died.
73-year-old Gadi Haggai, who had both American and Israeli citizenship, has died in captivity in Gaza. This is according to a group representing the hostages' families. Haggai and his wife were kidnapped from their kibbutz by Hamas on October 7th. He was shot and critically injured. His wife remains in captivity. Robert Berger, CBS News, Jerusalem.
The UN Security Council is expected to vote as soon as today on that resolution calling for desperately needed aid to get into Gaza. Harvard's president is under the microscope again, weeks after controversial congressional testimony about anti-Semitism on campus. Claudine Gay is accused of 2 more instances of failing to attribute in her doctoral dissertation. CBS's Nancy Chen reports Republican lawmakers are ready to investigate.
A letter sent by the House Education Committee to Harvard leaders says an allegation of plagiarism by a top school official at any university would be reason for concern, but Harvard is not just any university.
A Christmas present from President Biden to thousands of people convicted of using and possessing pot on federal lands and in Washington, D.C. He's making them eligible for pardons. This is CBS News.
You don't need a job platform, you need a hiring partner. Indeed lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credits.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Watch your eye if you're celebrating in style over the holidays.
Ophthalmology experts at the University of Cambridge are pushing for champagne bottles to have screw-on caps instead. While the high-pressured bottle stoppers help maintain the champagne's bubbly fizz, the cork can catapult from its vessel at up to nearly 50 miles per hour, hitting the eye in less than 0.05 seconds. They say a blunt force eye injury at that speed can cause permanent blindness, retinal detachment, and lens dislocation. They're spreading awareness of cork-induced eye injuries ahead of New Year's Eve. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
A famous movie home's for sale in New York City. Hiya, pal. The townhouse where Kevin McAllister defeated the sticky bandits in Home Alone 2 is on the market for $6.7 million. Listing describes it as a 19th century gem. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Have you Googled yourself lately?
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
I hear the people shooting the stores, they're looting them too. You know it's kinda silly to spend Christmas in Philly with you. You get carjacked or murdered or mugged, either way we're all screwed. You know it's kinda silly to spend Christmas in Philly with you. Larry Krasner says to give the carjacker your keys and pray he doesn't shoot you while you're on your knees. You know you got jacked for the car you drive. Carjacking will not stop. Hey! And the last thing you should do is call the cops.
Cops.
The cops arrest the carjacker and bring him in. There is a social justice warrior, not a judge of sin. Their story of woe will melt his heart. It happens without fail. They will be out in an hour. They will be out in an hour. They will be out in an hour, and they never pay any bail.
That voice you hear is a 2023 Dom Giordano Caller of the Year. It's Earl Anticoni and his Taconets singing a Krasnerland Christmas, available wherever podcasts can be found. But you're listening to The Other Side with Dan and Dorenzo. I'm Dan Borowski. I'm with Anthony Dorenzo. And the other side of the glass, we're producers. I'm Dom Giordano's producer. He's Dawn's producer. He's Nick's producer. He's everyone's producer. It's Tony Bruno. Now. Mary Walter. It's awesome seeing Mary and Matt working together this morning with
For
you.
sure, yeah.
It was a great show between you three, too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so Christmas is here, man. Let me get some Last Christmas going. Your favorite Christmas song.
That's not my favorite one.
Well, you said it was.
I like, out of the popular redundant ones, that's my favorite, yes.
I think it's the Eagles for me.
Yeah.
But why do we like the, sad Christmas songs? Do we have a bad,
I like sad music
history
in general. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I have some bad history.
Too much coal in the stockings for
us? Well, we work around politics.
Best present you ever got?
Oh, that's tough. That is very, very tough. I think I'm going to go, and maybe this is cliche. It goes into what you put on the sheet as well. My mom bought me a PS2. Well, Santa bought me a PS2. He
made you a PS2.
Yeah, him and the elves made me a PlayStation 2, and I was begging my mom to get me a GameCube that year, and I was so, annoyed that it wasn't a GameCube.
Oh, what a brat.
I know, I was a brat. But I remember I loved that thing. I loved the PS, as much as I eventually got a GameCube, and I loved that as well, but the PlayStation 2 was the best thing I think I've ever owned. The iToy, all the old Maddens, and oh my god, dude, I remember, and you had to connect your router from halfway around the house to somehow get internet.
The PS2 though it's the start of the downturn of video games playing in person with friends, and I think the best console of all time is the Nintendo 64, and I say that it's not the game selection's not great, the graphics suck, but it's the best multiplayer experience that I can remember. Sitting in the same room with friends and playing a game all together. And it's something you don't see in video games anymore. I hate that all... I was with my nephews a couple weeks ago. We were looking to play some kind of game together, sitting in the room. It took us half an hour to find any kind of local multiplayer game that we could all agree on.
Have you ever played Jackbox?
Yeah. They're too young for it, though.
That's true, yeah.
I just wipe them away with my depth of trivia knowledge.
Yeah, well, and then we'd get, political.
That's a great suggestion, though, for those that aren't gamers, which I believe to be a good chunk of the audience. There's a game called Jackbox, which is essentially...
It's almost like a digital board game.
Yeah, it's like board games on your TV, and it's a blast to play with friends and family, and all you need is a cell phone to play along. Everyone has one of those in their pockets, so holiday season, if you have a kid, maybe ask about Jackbox and see if you can play some of it, because
I've done that
you
with
would have
my
a lot of
roommates
fun with it.
For years. We anytime we have parties or people over, it's Jackbox is always coming out.
New holiday tradition for me. This Christmas Day, I'll be watching the Eagles, but a bunch of Philadelphia sports going on. Sixers have a game as well. Where are you going to be tuned?
Yeah, Sixers are playing Miami. Eagles playing Tommy DeVito and the New York
Tommy
Giants.
Cutlets.
Yeah, hey. If we lose to Tommy Cutlets, I swear to God, fire Nick Sirianni. I don't care. Tell them at WPHT,
you've officially turned, huh?
Oh my God, man! The comment that he made, the Josh Talento of the Inquirer reporting this. Nick Sirianni said that Eagles were trying to play for a defensive pass interference on Jalen Hurts' deep shot to A.J. Brown at the end of the Seahawks game. Sirianni said he's comfortable with the play despite the interception. Quote, "We felt like that situation, we had an opportunity to." Dude, what are you doing? Check down. Check down. You have the best kicker in the game. Let Jake Elliott throw that thing right through the uprights. We would have had overtime. I get it. Games happen. Drew Lock had the drive of his life. But the fact that we could not, and even Hurts talked about it, I get it. I get it. You want to go for fourth. You want to go for the big shot. Can't we just take the play when we have it?
You can't blame Hurts.
Yeah.
Look, you can blame Hurts because it's on him. I mean, he could have just checked down. He had Swift right there, running back available on that final play, and he decides to bomb it long. But we see now here that it's a direction from Sirianni to go for the long shot rather than just getting the check down and trusting your all-pro kicker, Jake Elliott, to get a kick right through those uprights and move it into over.
I mean, I don't want to be doom and gloom. I really don't. But this it's really giving me really, really bad feelings about our ownership and Howie, because it seems like Doug Peterson, who was a great coach and won us the Super Bowl, seems like he wanted to pick his own assistants, and when he was told he's not allowed to, they ran him out of town. Nick Sirianni has been only a yes man to Howie and Laurie, and I'm not saying I hate Howie and Laurie, but the fact that they overstep and they want a yes man like Sirianni to just constantly do their bidding, I don't think that has any place in the locker room. You hire people to do their jobs. You don't sit there and babysit them to do their job. So I am very, very concerned with that. And the Eagles, if they don't have an impressive showing this week, my opinion will not change. So I know this sounds harsh. Jets fans are probably like, oh, you're crazy. You guys are 10-3. But there is dysfunction here, and the offense and the defense both have major, major issues. So the path isn't difficult. That's the thing. I mean, San Fran is the only team that really scares me. So I just don't think this team can be a Super Bowl contender if they don't look in the mirror a little bit. But to your question, after my Eagles rant, I'm more excited for the Sixers Heat game.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, NBA on Christmas, that's like a tradition. Like that's something I always look forward to, especially as a basketball nerd. But, dude, man, if you're not watching the Sixers, please start watching the Sixers.
Joel Embiid, leader, right?
He has more points than he does minutes played. He has 2 50-point games. Maxey is playing like a man possessed. They combined for 86 points the other night. I mean, man, they have a deep bench. They have good coaching. Like, I don't want to hype myself up because you know me with the Sixers. I've hyped myself up for a decade for nothing. But it seems like they're starting to figure it out, man. And Embiid is speaking like a leader. It's time to watch the Sixers.
So
if you're not.
we had a collective city giving up on a team after this past Doc Rivers completely.
Even me.
This past playoffs, I didn't care about the Sixers. I still don't, because I just think the current roster makeup, what they currently had, wasn't going to do anything. But now we have Nick Nurse in there, and it seems things are turning around. But I think the Eagles are right on the precipice of having the same kind of reaction from the city of Philadelphia that the Sixers had in the playoffs last year, where people are going to stop hopping off the boat because they don't believe. I don't believe in Nick Sirianni. I don't believe that there's anyone in the locker room that can look at Jalen Hurts missing his checkdowns and say, hey, Jalen, you're missing these. You got to be hitting them. I feel like having Brian Johnson in there, a guy who's been a friend of Jalen for years now, it's bad. It's a really bad dynamic that we see in there. We have a coach who is way too emotional, who can't control his emotions, therefore he has no respect of his players. It's not looking good. It's not looking good.
I just think it's deeper than that. It's fine if Sirianni's emotional. If we have these deep-rooted issues with Laurie or Howie just stepping in, I don't know how you even fix that. If they run another, and I'm not happy with Sirianni right now either, but if you run out another coach within these few years, and who knows what happens with Hurts then moving forward as well, it just scares me, man. Like, it really does. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah. It is scary. And one more thing on NFL before we move on. Your thoughts on a potential Bill Belichick going to the Chargers?
The Chargers need a lot. And I don't think Justin Herbert is forever too far gone or a bust per se. I think he's very talented. They clearly have talent on the roster. They get injured more than anyone, it seems like. Eckler, who was there? Mike Williams. He was out week 3. Yeah, Keenan Allen got hurt a few weeks ago. Their entire Herbert's hurt, so their whole team is hurt. Not they were coached terribly this year, and there's a reason he was fired after that 50-point Raiders game.
The reason why I bring it up though is Travis Kelce over on the Chiefs, a division rival of the Chargers, said he doesn't want them to hire Belichick because he's a ton of respect for Belichick. It makes him nervous to have a coach like that. They'd rather hire, channeling one Frank Rizzo, a jabroni. He used the term jabroni that he'd love for the Chargers to hire. So,
I don't know if Bill was the guy. It seems like Brady was the guy.
Yeah.
And I know the narrative always was, oh, Bill made Brady what he is. After Brady left, I think Brady proved to all of us that he's the guy.
Before we get headed to break, I want to take Frank in South Philly. This is a guy who showed up with gabagool for
he's probably doing 7
homemade
fishes.
Red wine. Frank, what can I do for Christmas Eve this year? Do you think I have to do 7 fishes because my association with the Italians?
Hey, Dan, hold on a second. I got to cut my slicer off. I'm in my canteen right now slicing gabagool.
You have a canteen?
Yes, I do.
Like take me into it. Do you have wads of meat hanging from a shed somewhere?
A deli slicer, all of that.
What's the scene
I
at
got
Frank's
a deli
house?
slicer. I got a meat mixer. I got slicers. I got vacuum machine. I did have prosciutto hanging. My first time making prosciutto this past year. But here's what I called up for. I wanted to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if someone comes down and picks up some real, true-made, homemade wine, I give Jim my address and everything else, but the homemade wine is a 100-year tradition that we make, heritage, that we make the wine. And the Super Stout and Gabagool, that's also 100 years, and we also make the gravy. It's not sauce until you turn around and make it. on top of the stove.
All right, so I got to tell you, last year Frank brought me and Dom, and we divvied it up. He brought us like an entire tray of just different types of supper, gabagool. And Frank, I need your opinion because there was so much of it that me and Maze, we made sandwiches out of it, but we also made breakfast sandwiches and fried the gabagool and put on eggs. And I've been told, though, that is not appropriate to do. I mean, like a ham and egg sandwich with gabagool. Is that okay to do, or is that a
violation?
Violation.
No, there's no violation whatsoever because it's an omelet. Whether if you put prosciutto, I cut up some prosciutto that I just turned around and cut for the past week over there. I put it in with the eggs and peppers and mushrooms and different vegetables that I like, you know. So it's not a violation whatsoever. But Dan, like I said, if someone comes by the house, I gave Jim my address, which you could pick up a case of homemade wine to kind of bring it over your house and maybe distribute it to the crew that you have here with Anthony, Dom, and all, and enjoy for the holidays. But
Frank, I got to stop you for a second. I just want to underline how special it is to be somewhere like Philadelphia where you have a guy, a true Italian from South Philadelphia, hears that someone needs some help on Christmas Eve and calls with some fresh gabagool as he's slicing it from the meat slicer.
Exactly.
There's nothing better than that, Frank. Thank you, sir.
Well, one more thing, Dan. I'd like to extend my Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all veterans because I'm a veteran. I built down here across the street from my house a memorial for the veterans, and I'd like to give them a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all veterans and all military personnel that are serving us today in the bad situations that we're in throughout the world today.
Yeah, one person I think of is Robert Ben Salem's, I think, daughter or daughter-in-law, who's sitting on a warship off the coast of Gaza right now, who would just, love to be with the family and both active members and veterans. I'm 100% with you. Frank, are you willing to share where you made that memorial, or do you want to keep that private because you're close by?
Yes, I gave Jim I'll give it to you. It's 2900 South 18th Street, and you can't miss it because I have 9 flag poles, and it's called All for One, and that's to represent all the branches of the military. There are the 6 branches plus the POW flag, the American flag, and there's one more flag that hangs over there, and it's the All for One flag to represent all the branches of the military. And everyone more than welcome. Every Veterans Weekend we hold a ceremony. The past 2 years, it was the first 2 years that we held it.
I got to ask, living down there in South Philly, there's been a slow seep of New Yorkers, progressives kind of taking over the area. You have a very apolitical memorial up there supporting the veterans. Have you seen any kind of pushback against what you got displayed out there, or have you seen changes in the neighborhood in general down there in South Philly?
Most of the neighbors are still the same. You know, people from New York come down here. I had one guy from North Carolina that came up for the Army and Navy game. And we got to be friends. And I just met him in a little luncheonette that we turn around and have breakfast in the morning. And I met him and his family, and we became close friends. Now his 2 sons they went to the Air Force Academy in Colorado is one, and then the other one went to West Point to serve our country.
Well, thank you to both him and all veterans and all that are active through all this. Frank, great suggestion. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you too, man. And continue. Thank you for the suggestion. I'll be hitting you up for some of the fresh gabagool and other Italian meats down there. Yeah.
Dan, I want to give you a housewarming since you moved into Deptford over there, the area there. Please send somebody down my house, and I'll give you a housewarming thing, a case of wine and some of that. Good stuff that you can put on an omelet or any other dish that you want to put in.
Look at Anthony's over here eyeing me like, "Are you gonna give me some of this?"
Yeah,
too?
we'll do a live tasting on the pod from his house. So,
Ooh, I love it.
Well, Anthony, I think one time I gave you a suggestion on a restaurant to go to.
Yes, Ristorante Pesto, which actually, when I grew up, I went there with my father, and I used to be an annoying child who only wanted to eat my parents' food when we went out to dinner. And we went to a place.
Wait, hold on. I got to examine this real quick. When you would go out to eat, you'd only order something that your parents would make at home?
No, I'd order like chicken fingers or something, French fries, something like for
something
a
off
kid.
the kids' menu.
And then my dad would get something nice, like he'd get a lamb or a pasta, and I'd always want it every single time. But my dad used to go and take me to Yoey 2, which is actually now Ristorante Pesto. So we thought that restaurant was gone. So shout out to you for bringing that up. It's a little nostalgic for me. So
Pesto, that guy his name is Johnny Borelli, and his brother owns the two other brothers own the pastry shop on 10th and Mars. Anything you need to know about Food Line or anything down here in South Philly, please don't hesitate. Jim has my number, my email, and I'll direct you in the right direction because I go Frank G. Cornetti and / Food Master of South Philadelphia.
Ooh, the Food Master of South Philadelphia.
Thank you, Frank.
Yeah, I like that
we
name.
appreciate this.
Thank you, Frank. Merry Christmas, brother. I appreciate
Christmas.
it.
Yeah.
Do you like the Food Master of South Philadelphia or
I
the
like
King
that.
of South Philadelphia?
The Food Master sounds good. What's your favorite cold cut?
Jim, I ask you every time that we get a call from him now, I want it to be not Frank in South Philly, but the Food Master of South Philly. Got a thumbs up over there.
What's your favorite cold cut, though, before we wrap this up?
It's a tough question.
I got to go mortadella, dude. It's so good.
You're going to kill me. I think
it's so good.
This is very white American of me to say, but I think like the spicy turkeys that you can get.
I like that.
With the flavors on the outside.
Trust me, I can't eat the Italian meats every day or I'd be a fat slob.
Turkey?
Yeah, I like the spicy turkey for like a nice weekday meal.
Yeah, I also like the weird meats. Like there are a couple out like corned
the
beef,
Polish
like cold
ham.
corned beef.
Oh, I love corned beef.
Oh,
yeah,
it's fantastic. It's so good. All right, the other side with Dan and Dorenzo covering for Dawn Stensland. Please feel free to give us a ring, 855-839-1210. We'd love to hear from you. We'll get into some politics on the other side, but we'll be back after the break.
I've had some shocking revelations today, but nothing as shocking as this. Doug Burgum has suspended his campaign for president of the United States. I know. You're just as shocked as I am. Who saw this coming? Not me. With my astute, God-given gift to be able to predict politics, even I didn't see this one coming. You're going through your day-to-day, you're like, come on, Rich, make me smile. And then I come on the air and I say to you, Doug Burgum just dropped out of the race for president. You're like, come on, this Monday can't get any worse, can it?
Rich Cioli, weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Dawn Stensland here. Now is the time to get the vehicle that's been on your wish list with year-end savings from the Piazza Auto Group. With financing for a limited time as low as 0% for up to 60 months on select new models, like the 2024 Mazda CX-5 with standard all-wheel drive from Piazza Mazda of Westchester and Reading, or the 2024 Tucson and the 2023 Santa Fe from Piazza Hyundai of Westchester and Pottstown. PiazzaMazda.com and PiazzaHyundai.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Did you know the Philadelphia Eagles dentist is in your backyard? Starting their third season is the official dentist of the Philadelphia Eagles. Oasis Dental at 1 Belmont Plaza would love to care for you. The all-pro team of Doctors Berman and Patel provide advanced and compassionate care and are in-network with most major insurances. No insurance? No problem. They can help with their in-house care plan that will provide affordable care and keep you smiling like our birds. Go to oasisdentalcare.com to schedule your appointment today.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company this holiday season, and hopefully it's a relaxing one. All your wishes are coming true on FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. I love the FanDuel app. It's so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and so much more. All you have to do is use my promo code Greg. FanDuel.com/Greg. FanDuel.com/Greg. Sign up right now. FanDuel.com/Greg. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, and he's the official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in PA. First online, real money wager only. $5 pregame moneyline wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Ben Salem, tell your smart speaker play 1210 WPHT.
Welcome back into the other side with Dan and Dorenzo covering the Dawn Stenslin Show today as we head into Christmas, the final day of 1210 WPHT before the Christmas holiday. Anthony, Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas, my friend.
It is a beautiful time of year.
That's it. I mean, it's cold, but it's not as cold as it could be. So.
Yeah. Are you the kind of guy that like really wants white Christmas, or do you just hate snow so much that you want it away?
I don't hate it, especially lately. We've gotten no snow. I feel like I haven't seen
no snow, nothing.
I haven't seen snow since I was in Connecticut, so I wouldn't hate.
Is climate change real?
Yeah, it's global warming. Yeah.
Yeah, global warming. Yeah, sure. $300 in Philadelphia if you don't shovel the sidewalk.
That's what we enforced.
Yeah.
Out of all the things.
Yeah.
Out of all the things.
Yeah, apparently it's no, fines range from $50 to $300. You have 6 hours after a snowfall to shovel your sidewalk in Philadelphia, or else you face a fine.
I'm not against it. And then the parking. Oh my God! Don't you dare try to save your parking spot, or you'll be shunned.
Apparently, this is whether you rent or own too. You're responsible for clearing that path. So
I'm happy I live in an apartment building.
Someone breaks an ankle in your front path.
Yeah, you're liable.
Even
Yeah.
if you're a renter.
I think at whatever. I guess if you're in like a single row home and you are the only person in there, I would assume at least that little part right before your porch, you probably have to salt. I'm not positive. But.
And the biggest threat to Philadelphia is Savesies. Not a fan. You're a fan?
No, I'm not a fan.
Oh, you're not a fan?
No,
Dom's probably listening to us.
He probably is
stirring right now. Oh, he's a huge fan. It's a Philadelphia tradition. If you dig out your own spot, you should be able to put a toilet there to keep it. But parking is just so miserable in the city right now that it becomes impossible once people dig out their spots.
Well, this is, again, why, in my opinion, we need to start focusing on public transportation more in general as a country, because this focus on cars and the space needed for garages and parking, it's just unsustainable, especially in a city like ours.
Yeah, underline parking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could use some more spots around the station. Just going to say that. So, Anthony, I want to get into the biggest threats to the United States. Kind of running low on time, but first, just kind of set the stage. Don in Franconia, one of the great callers to the Dom Giordano program and the other shows here on 1210 WPHT, is chiming in. Don, I see that you want to talk about Big College, and I remember we ran that poll, and you were talking about it as well, that when Dom was talking about the biggest threats to the United States, Big College was it surged, and it was actually much higher than many people expected, and I think it might have beaten China even. Don, what do you want to say about Big College?
Well, what I want to say is I didn't call to talk about the Eagles, but there's something wrong with this picture. I'll be 83 in a couple of weeks, and it's pretty bad when for the last 3 weeks I've had more happy endings than the Eagles, unfortunately.
Oh my
goodness!
However,
that's not what I called for. But as far as college goes, when I graduated from high school, I had the same choice as everyone else. Do I go to college, or do I just go out and get a job? Well, I had no money. My family had no money, so it was obvious what I chose. I chose to work, and over the course of my working, I got laid off because of plant closings. But after the second one, they still kept some of the office open where I got laid off from, but I didn't. But the part I worked in was not did not stay open. Well, anyway, I went and worked full time at one of my part-time jobs I also had. And one day, because I was in there working, my ex-boss came in and offered me a job. Now, if I had the option of either taking, getting money from the government on unemployment or working. I chose working. And fortunately for me, I did because, again, my boss came in and offered me a job. I lasted about 25 more years after that, and I did real well. And what really got to me is when I was let go, which I understood because I was the oldest person in there, they said, you cannot apply for your old job that you did so well because you don't have a college education. I've never understood that, and it really pissed me off, pardon my French, when I was told that. It upset me a lot more than getting laid off.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that that's what's going on in this world. And these colleges now, especially Harvard, their endowments total more than most countries or a lot of countries in this world have.
Yep.
And they still raise prices to get to apply. And it's just disgusting what's going on with these colleges.
I mean, you bring up a great point, Don, from your experience, and a happy early birthday, by the way. But I think you bring up a great point where it's just we continually create this keeping up with the Joneses culture where everyone needs to go to college for whatever reason, wherever, just because, and put themselves in debt and put themselves in a terrible financial situation before you even have any money, any asset. And look at now here we're at this point. You had a career early on there with, 40, 50 years ago. And they told you just because you had the experience more than anyone, you did the job every day, but just because you didn't go to some school and some person didn't lecture you for X amount of time and you didn't pay X amount of dollars, you're not worth it. And I think we're seeing the effects of that now because now most of these college programs are a joke now.
And they're not qualified. I hate to say, but even our job that we have here, we need a college education for, don't we? Isn't that one of the requirements in hiring?
Yes.
I look at what we do. I'm like, do we really need one?
Yeah, get the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the things I've learned in my 10 years of doing on-air stuff, I've learned so much more than I would have ever learned. In college, I was an education major.
Mm-hmm.
I had nothing. I was, obviously very involved with politics and kept, it was close to my heart, but I was education. I switched over to radio when I reached out to Howard Stern, was an intern there. We really went down the wrong path, I feel, as a culture. Because I look at my friends who are in blue-collar positions in the unions with kids, families, and here I am trying to, struggle my dollars together so I can have my own family now in my mid-30s, and they already have 10-year-old kids and such.
Yeah.
It's, we got to rework what we're telling kids. I think you're right there. So thank you. Thank you, Don. Appreciate it, sir.
Well, can I make one more point?
Yes, sir.
Now, the current administration has the gall to say that they want the average taxpayer to pay for student loans for these people who do take advantage of going to college. And that also gets to me. But thank you, guys. Have a great holidays. And thanks for taking my call.
Thank you. Thank you, Don. I often hear that, though, from especially older conservatives.
Yeah.
And when they say that, I think that kind of mentality against this entire situation, that we don't want to, forgive these scrubs, essentially, who took all this money, alienates a big voter base of young people.
Yes, I agree with that. I think young people need to come to terms with this can't all be just eliminated, but I also do think the insane additional fees, the additional costs, everything they stack onto your college payments each and every semester, it really isn't fair. And I get it. Everyone signs up for it. I'm not trying to excuse it. But it's hard to expect 17 to 21-year-olds to have the wherewithal to avoid that decision and to take a step back and to realize, this is really going to impact your life. It isn't just, you get to go drink and have fun. This is really going to impact you financially in the long term. We need to lay that out for people.
We don't do it well enough.
We don't. And then instead, everyone's like, you need to go to college, so go to college. And we just need to stop comparing ourselves in that kind of way, and then just look for your career. Look how you can make money. Look for opportunity. And
I want public schools to promote the trades.
Yes.
I remember back in Indiana, which is a red state, we had the option in high school to go to a trade school senior year and get a early start on a trade and work ourselves into some kind of, union position.
And we need people in those jobs. There's a lot of those jobs they're lacking talent, so they need it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend who actually went to school for computer programming and was working for the government and just couldn't find himself sitting behind a desk all day, wasn't making the money he expected to be making, is now training to become a union. He's working as an apprentice.
Yeah, and I have plenty of friends who have done that, and they love that. And it's a great paying job. Most of them, especially the ones that didn't go to college, man.
It's a hell of a lot of work, though. Like if you
I'm not going on a crane. I'm not going
Well,
on
that's
a
the thing. It's like I've had
God.
3 calluses my entire life, and they come from playing guitar, not from doing hard work. So I definitely look to those guys and think, damn, that's a lot to do, but it pays well.
I mean, we see it every day. There's a big construction crew right next to our place.
But I think there are so many people that are in, professional environments that would succeed so much more in, trade environments that were just directed to go the professional route because of bad advisement. Hey, we're way over time for a break, though. You're listening to The Other Side with Dan and Dorenzo covering for Dawn Sensland. 855-839-1210 if you want to get in. Be back right after the break, 1210 WPHT.
Weather sponsored by Consumer Cellular.
Day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept
Consumer
going.
Cellular offers the exact same nationwide 5G coverage as the major carriers, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Their 100% U.S.-based support is just a click away. Plus, activation is always free. Visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
It will be chilly on this first full day of winter under partly sunny skies. High temperature below average of 42. Tonight, mostly cloudy and cold. Low 34 for the city, colder out in the suburbs. And a bit milder on Saturday. Skies mostly cloudy with a high 48.
The life of an Eagles fan is a wild ride. Some years we triumph. Some years we don't. What never changes year after year is how we get to the game, shoulder to shoulder with our fellow fans on SEPTA. And this season, fans ride home free from NRG Station on the Broad Street line thanks to Unibet, an official casino and sportsbook partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Plan your trip to the game and learn more about free rides home, sponsored by Unibet at iseptaphilly.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Everyone on your list is going to be happy this year if you take my advice and do what I do and let Omaha Steaks bring the happiness and take the guesswork out of gifting. Shop their carefully curated gift packages guaranteed to make spirits bright all winter long. Just go to omahasteaks.com. Save 50% off site-wide. Plus, when you use promo code Zioli at checkout, you get an additional $30 off your order. That's right. Send tender, juicy, butcher's cut filet mignons, mouth-watering burgers, gourmet jumbo franks, or even easy-to-prepare meals that are ready in a flash. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. The happiness is endless. But this offer won't last long. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship your order right away, so avoid the holiday rush and do it today. omahasteaks.com. Use promo code Zioli at checkout. Minimum order may be required. This is a gift from the heart, a gift that will be remembered with every unforgettable bite. I do this every year, and everyone always says thank you, and they never return it. omahasteaks.com, promo code Zioli.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have started a huge renovation. Take our already incredibly generous offers and add an additional $1,000 off all new Volvos, plus owner loyalty, plus up to $2,000 when financing or leasing with Volvo cars, plus $7,500 lease rebate on all plug-in Volvos. This is a fabulous time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo. This month's offers are incredible, and we must make space for all the construction vehicles. Visit us now.
It was the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
From Essington to Cochranville, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
Don't cry, snowman, don't leave me this way. A bottle of water can't hold me close, baby.
The best voice in Top 40 radio, Sia. So beautiful. I love me some Sia. Welcome back in The Other Side with Dan and Dorenzo. I'm Dan Borowski from the Dom Giordano program. Anthony Dorenzo from the Dawn Stensland show. Dude, what were you doing on top of the table during the break?
These people always move these damn lights. I'm going to call out Rich Zioli. He's not listening. He's off today.
Wait, Rich can't reach those lights?
He probably stands on this desk.
Even then.
I mean, I'm short, and I could reach it. So, I don't know, man. These people, they got to stop touching my room. What is this?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It comes down to
It's
that.
all right. It's all right. It's not your fault.
So Cameron Diaz is out there. Oh, you know what? First, I want to say this. I am a big fan of our sister station, WIP.
Absolutely, yeah.
And a little behind the scenes, this is the other side of the glass, producers kind of talking. Big fan of what was done in the afternoon time slot, Marks and Reese. Being a Howard Stern fan, it seems that they too are Howard Stern fans, and their show was very community-based. Listeners were actively involved. Herb from the Northeast was a character on there. And a lot of what I would hear on Marks and Reese, it's instituted on the Dom show. A lot of Howard Stern, both in Marks and Reese and the Dom show. And one thing happened this week, and I was absolutely horrified, I got to say, to hear it as a fan. John Marks announced that he's going to be stepping off Marks and Reese.
Yeah, I know he'll still be doing some CBS national sports talk there with Odyssey still, so you'll be able to hear him, and he'll be back with WIP at times, I think, filling in, he mentioned. So sad to see him go. I mean, Johnny is a professional. He's someone I think both of us listen to as we continue to
see him in the hallways. He'd be quick to mentor. And
nicest guy.
Really,
nicest guy you'd meet.
Really.
So, yeah, congrats to him, though, man. Like, life's too short, and for him to make that decision with his girls at, they're at their 4, 5, 6 years old.
So if you're not a listener, John's a parent of some young girls, and he essentially said that for their entire lives he hasn't been able to have a dinner with them. Yeah. And he just feels like he's missing out on so much, and because of the schedule, he's going to step back. And good on you, man, for being a good dad.
For sure.
But also, it's tough as a listener to hear one of your favorites go away, and one of the favorite shows you've been listening to us go away.
I mean, yeah, absolutely one of the best guys you'd ever see over there at WIP. So shout out to Johnny Marks, and he'll be on social media, he'll be around, and he might even open a barbershop he was talking about. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Could you imagine going and getting your hair cut by Johnny Marks?
Yeah, right. I think it's he's partnering. I don't know if it's set in. He said it's not set in stone, but he's talking with Razor Bar, one of their sponsors over there.
There's a lot going on with hair too.
Yeah, it's true.
He does. So he can really spin it off into something. Someone who's making some news otherwise is Cameron Diaz, who came out and said that we need to start normalizing separate bedrooms. A new thing called sleep divorce is growing in society and culture. It's married couples who have 2 separate bedrooms deciding to sleep in opposite beds while remaining married. And Anthony, it seems you have an issue with that.
I don't like it at all. I mean, trust me, there's times where I'll fall asleep on the couch and I don't want to move. But the 2 separate bedrooms thing, man, it's just, can something be said? I think this really comes down to we're all too addicted to this. The phone.
Yeah.
The phone or technology, or whether it's Netflix or TikTok or whatever the hell it is. We're all so addicted and enamored by technology. Like we're like the iPad kid at the dinner table that if you take it away, we start crying.
Yeah.
And that is all of us.
I was telling Don there's an Ask Reddit of an adult asking, he had a date cancel on him for a fine steakhouse. Is it okay to go to a fine steakhouse and watch an iPad by yourself with headphones in?
Oh, my God.
Like, that's where we're coming
You're
now.
talking to a sports fan, so I get it. If you need the iPad and you're sweating something out, I get it. But to be alone with headphones at a steakhouse, that's just depressing, man. It's just this isolationist stuff and being on the internet too much. It's not good for us.
You made a great point during the break.
Yeah. I recently saw this TikTok where someone was ranting. I'll find the video. Maybe we could play it on our next episode. But he was essentially saying we live in an age now where our digital lives are very much more important than our real lives. Especially in a professional and a societal sense. And I think that's just the truest thing I've ever heard. And we need to put these away. Like, I try to just put this, like last night when we were texting for show prep, I was like, I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm not going on social media again because I'm going to see something I want for the show tomorrow. Yeah. So, no, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm just saying, like, I think we need to, like, find times in the day where we put this thing in the other room plugged in and you spend that time with your wife or your girlfriend or whoever it is. Doesn't matter who it is. Don't watch TV at dinner. Have dinner. Make dinner sacred. Sit there. Talk. How was your day?
People have dedicated more time to fostering an online persona than they have their in-person persona.
Yes, because it's almost like a drug. Online isn't real life, so it's a distraction. It gets you out of the moment that you're in, and you can ignore all your problems, and right there, you're good to go. Just immerse yourself in whatever thing digitally.
So much better things you can do. Like I'm not on much social media. I'm on Twitter because of the shows. Facebook, I still have mine up there, but I'm not on TikTok. I don't have an Instagram. Well, I have an Instagram, but it's only to kind of gather videos for the Dom show and such. And I just feel like because I'm sitting there with nothing to do, because I'm not, just aimlessly scrolling through social media, I went back and picked up a guitar and I relearned how to play guitar, and there are a lot of hobbies.
People don't have hobbies anymore
because
of this. Dude, adults are like this too. I know we'll have callers call in and be like, oh, well, my grandkids. It's adults too. I've gone out with many adults that, I'm having dinner with them, and they're just sitting there on their phone the entire damn time.
Yeah.
And that's not having dinner. That's just not.
I'm very much put a basket in the middle of the table. Everyone's phone goes into the basket.
Yep,
You're not allowed
I
to touch
agree.
it for the entire dinner.
I agree.
Person.
Especially, if you're this Christmas, if you're hosting, that's the rule. Put the phones away. No politics, no religion. Talk about sports. Talk about your family. Ask how people are doing. Ask about their jobs. Like, let's have some fun.
That's the Anthony edict of the day that you hear there on the
Yes.
other side. But we'll be right back with more. 855-839-1210 if you want to get in. The other side with Dan and Dorenzo. Coming up, we might have Dom Giordano, who's up next, stopping in the studio, a great mentor for both of us. We'll talk to him potentially and more.
Dom time.
Some Dom time after the break.
Throws for Allen. He's got him. Far corner. Touchdown, Penn State. History will be made December 30th as your Nittany Lions face the Ole Miss Rebels for the first time ever. Drills it. End zone. Caught. Touchdown, Penn State. Theo Johnson from Windsor, Ontario. Penn State is in the Peach Bowl. A dominating, wire-to-wire, complete performance. Hear all the action Saturday, December 30th at 11:30 a.m. here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, it's the holiday season, and we all know what that means. In addition to presents under the tree, it's time to use those FSA and HSA benefits we've been accruing all year. I'm Dom Giordano, and if your benefits are still available, now's a great time to reach out to my good friend, Dr. Robert Bentz from the Bentz Dental Group to set up your appointment for a consultation. You know how much I admire Dr. Bentz and his quality work, attention to detail, and investment in the overall health of his patients. Dr. Bentz is a board-certified prosthodontist, was recently appointed to the board of the American College of Prosthodontics. So if you're considering dental implants, reconstruction, or any dental or prosthodontic needs, call Bentz Dental Group today to schedule an appointment with Dr. Bentz, and don't let 2023 end without taking advantage of those FSA and HSA benefits. Call or visit BentzDentalGroup.com or call them at 610-272-6949. That's 610-272-6949.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese. As a Main Street bank, PNC strives to put their clients and the communities they serve at the center of everything they do. Their local leadership teams provide us with the knowledge we need to be able to deliver effective strategic solutions tailored for your business. They're proud to be a part of the Philadelphia, Delaware, and Southern New Jersey community. See how PNC can make a difference for your business at pnc.com/CIB. The PNC Financial Services Group Incorporated, all rights reserved.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands done. Groceries got them. Be proud of yourself. It's time to give yourself a reward. You know you've been waiting all day for your favorite tasty cake treat, but which one? There's so many great choices. Is it the delicious crimpet or the mouth-watering candy cake? Maybe it's the tasty baked pie. No matter what you choose or where you are, it's always time for a tasty cake. So choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, accept no substitutes.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818.
800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. If you get a new tablet or cell phone this year, recycle your old one, either by donation or an e-waste program. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Kale and Company mornings. Rich Cioli afternoons. Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Street spreading so much cheer. I should be playing in the winter snow.
I had a request yesterday on the Dom show for some Justin Bieber. I didn't want to force Dom to have to listen to this crap, so here you go, requester.
He's so good.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I like Bieber post...
You're a believer?
I am a believer post Purpose. His Purpose album I love. The one with What Do You Mean and Sorry. Oh my god, dude. His
you know
voice,
what, those are actually, yeah, you know what? Those
his
are pretty
voice
good songs.
is so good now. The way that he's, like,
I just still have Baby in the back of my head.
But I agree with you. I didn't like the younger teeny bopper Baby. Like, I didn't like the Usher Justin Bieber. I like Justin now. Like, yeah, dude, What Do You Mean? Are you kidding me? That song slaps.
Oh,
slaps.
Get out of here, you believer over here.
It's so good.
Yeah, if you're not familiar, that's Anthony Dorenzo. I'm Dan Borowski. You're listening to The Other Side, 1210 WPHT. We're sitting in for Dawn Stenslin, who was kind enough to give us these 2 hours today. So thank you, Dawn. Let's head over to Mark in Conshohocken. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. Thanks for calling us. Appreciate it. Nice to hear you on our show.
Well, I'm always on your show. But
no, I know the other one. I'm talking this one. This one.
Yeah. Well, the congratulations on your debut.
Thank you, sir.
And I remember, congratulations on your house, by the way. Think of it like this, Dan. I was just thinking. I just heard what you just said in the last segment, and it's very true. People believe their virtual lives are more important than their real lives, and that's a disgrace.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do that. I don't do that. I turn that phone off, or I keep it on buzz in case of emergency or somebody needs to get a hold of me. That's fine, but I'm not like you. I'm no TikTok or all the other sites. I don't do that. I have a full Facebook account. I never used it. I just did it for my stepdaughter's fundraiser for high school. But
yeah, well, we're up against it, Mark, and yeah, he's 100% correct. And I would implore people, New Year's resolutions, if they are or they see that they're kind of into their social media, maybe a little bit too much, to take a step back and reconsider your amount of usage of social media.
Your phones, most of them now, depending on what software you have, you can set a time limit, and it will tell you hey, you've been on it for 3 hours this week. Like, chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Can we get Dom in here? I don't know if it's going to work now.
I believe that's guest 3, Mike, Dan.
Let's bring him
Live
up.
production here.
Hey, Dom. How you doing, sir?
He can't hear us yet.
Oh, okay. Dom Giordano's coming into the studio.
I don't need headset. I'm fine.
Yeah? You can't hear me, though. He can't hear me. So
I can hear you.
Oh, you can? You got me?
I don't need to hear Dan.
He doesn't need to hear
you. Then you interview. You know, I'm going to step away because I want to hear what's coming up on Dom's show. So, Anthony, tell Dom we want to know what's coming up on his show next.
Yeah, Dom, what's going on your show here? We want to hear the holiday preview for your grand finale.
It's not so much of a holiday. I'm still trying to track a guy from Guinea down that nobody will tell us what he was holding up, Anthony, when he's caught at the border. And even Steve Keeley doesn't know. He's headed to Philadelphia. I believe Southwest Philadelphia. Who's paying for him and who's bringing him here? All this happened during yesterday's show. And I have more on the activist that is suing to keep Trump off the ballot in Pennsylvania. Gadfly doesn't begin to the guy's been burning different kinds of flags and all that, and yet the Inquirer cites him. Oh, my God, he's going to keep Trump off the ballot.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, Inquirer, they put out that story too. Oh, is this going to happen in Pennsylvania?
Well, there are suits, and they're following with Colorado. So based upon that, I could see the Pennsylvania Supreme Court doing it. Yeah. I could. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, a lot coming up here on the Dom Show. Have a Merry Christmas to everyone. Thanks so much for listening
Merry
to The
Christmas,
Other Side.
Everyone. All right, didn't mean to. I wanted you to do the close.
No, you're good. Yeah, thank you all for listening. We'll catch you after the break, and we'll be here next week. So thank you. Merry Christmas.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Are you feeling more upbeat about the economy because U.S. consumer confidence, well, it rose in December by the most since early 2021. That's as Americans grew more upbeat about the labor market and the inflation outlook. The Conference Board's index increased to a way higher than expected 110.7 in December from a revised 101 reading in November. Also, we got a stronger than expected report on housing. Sales of previously owned U.S. homes, those unexpectedly rose in November, led by a pickup in the South, according to the National Association of Realtors. And separately, the Mortgage Bankers Association says mortgage rates continue to fall. And Camp Hill-based Rite Aid is being told to stop using AI facial recognition for the next 5 years. It's all part of a privacy settlement with the FTC, which said the pharmacy chain misused the technology to mistakenly tag consumers as shoplifters. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Business on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and online at 1210WPHT.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. This holiday season, all your wishes are coming true on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. FanDuel has all your favorite bets. You don't have to be a football expert. Same game parlays, bigger payout, and I really like that FanDuel app. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, no better time than now. The app is so easy to use, wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over and unders. All that you have to do is this. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
We're Richard and Susan Eckhart, and we've been with Crash Proof Retirement since 2016. This Christmas, there's going to be lots of gifts.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of parties, lots of excitement and fun. And no worry, we have a system that guarantees interest, even the potential of double-digit interest. And the thing that I love is it all goes into the principal, and once it hits the principal, that's mine.
The worry is gone. The worry of your money.